Ready to go to sleep? Sure.
Okay, well, we just want to thank you for bringing through our sweet, wonderful Bashar. We truly appreciate your talent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We really do appreciate it. And all I can say is have fun, and I'll see you later. Oh, it'll take a day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. First and foremost, we thank each and every one of you again individually and all of you together collectively for the co-creation of this interaction and for offering us the gift of allowing us to experience each and every one of you in this way. We also thank you very much for your birthday wishes. It is, in that sense, heartfelt and felt deeply within our hearts. So we thank you. The idea, of course, is that the date that you call 11/11 simply is the date that corresponds to what you would call our date of birth in our own reality, but we don't have the same kind of calendars that you do. Thus, then, it is simply the idea of that which matches up in parallel with the sequence of days on your world. But even though we have in our world a similar length of day of what you call approximately 24 of your hours, we are farther from our star. Our year is longer and would be what you would call approximately 454 days in our orbit. The idea is that I was born in what we would consider to be the 55th day of our new year, in what you would approximately recognize as the year 3197 in our understanding of time. But our reality dimension operates at a frequency that is 10 times faster than yours. Thus then, the idea of the parallel date simply is that which is representative of the energy signature of connection between different levels and goes hand in hand with our calling as a contact specialist, in that we contact many different civilizations and form connections from one civilization to another, one level to another. And thus then exploring this energy today with you of the gateway that you yourself are going through, not only towards contact with us and other civilizations, but primarily for now going towards more contact with more of yourselves within your own consciousness. We will thus then be exemplifying the idea of that vibration of the gateway, of the opening of doorways, so that you can allow for your own energy to accelerate and for you to harmonize with that vibration of contact, both in an external and an internal fashion, so that the accelerated energies now, as you say, coming down the line, as you cross this threshold of tipping the scales, going forward in your reality, shifting and shifting and shifting from parallel reality to parallel reality, you can thus then, by opening this gate and using this energy, form a direction for yourselves, like a compass needle, like a magnet, to attract yourselves more strongly to the vibrational resonances and harmonies that are representative of the reality you say you prefer, so that while you are shifting from parallel world to parallel world billions of times per second, you can allow that vibration to guide you unerringly in a more expansive way toward a sequence of realities that are more in keeping with the kind of world that you say you prefer to experience, so that you can exhibit within yourself those kinds of changes necessary to see the reflections in the outer world that are more representative of who you prefer to be and the kind of world that you prefer to create your experience of physical reality to be. Let us explore a little bit this vibration of 11, 11, 11, now that it is compounded in this way, reinforcing itself, in a sense, exponentially, reflectively. As has already been mentioned, the idea of the 11s acts as a reflective concept, reflective energy. And since physical reality is nothing really but a reflection of the energy that you give off, the vibration that you put out, it is appropriate as a symbolic permission slip to allow yourselves to amplify these reflections in a variety of particular ways. We will, this day of your time in this transmission, provide you with a couple of different permission slip meditations, permission slip exercises to aid and assist you in playing with this energy and opening up these gates in a new and different way and creating new perspectives within your consciousness that we, shall we say, ought to bring a little bit more fun in your lives. We will get to that in a few moments. The idea, however, is that, again, as has already again been mentioned, in our ancient language, which we no longer use, the word Eli represents the idea of the mirror, of the reflection, and is actually structured as such, spelled in your language as I-L-L-I. The idea thus being that as you begin to realize that everything is a reflection, as you begin to concretize this concept within your consciousness more and more, your perceptions of physical reality will begin to change. You'll begin to truly experience many things in a reflective way as other versions, other aspects of yourself, of your own consciousness, as true reflections, giving you feedback in a variety of specific vibratory ways to the things that are going on within your personality structure, your belief systems, your emotions, your thought patterns, your behaviors. As you begin to see physical reality as a reflection, it will start to resonate in different ways within the personality structure of your beliefs, of your emotions, of your thoughts and behaviors. And as it resonates, as it vibrates, those components of the personality structure, it will bring to the forefront in a more obvious way, in a more apparent way, in a clearer way, anything within your vibration that is not the frequency that you prefer, bringing it to the forefront of your consciousness from the unconscious mind, and allowing you more opportunity to deal with it, to integrate it, to blend with it, to allow it to transform in ways that will allow that energy to be part of, to join the rest of the energy within your being that is more representative of becoming more of your true self and creating a more reflective reality of that true self. There are many ways that this idea has been described, has been experienced from time to time in your reality. This idea of the 1111 has been experienced vibrationally in many different ways. Energetically, electromagnetically, physically, acoustically, musically, in a variety of ways has this been experienced throughout your history by individuals who understand its resonant power to reflect and amplify a particular and specific vibration that is representative of opening up to new dimensions of experience. The willingness. Look at the middle of the word. Willing. I-L-L-I. The willingness to open up to new reflections. There are no accidents in the structure of your language in this way. Everything is an orchestration of consciousness. And as you express this willingness to open up, more and more of this vibration will seep in to your being. More and more of this signature frequency will leak out of your being, resonate into the world, into the reflection, and bounce back in many different forms, in many different ways that give you more of an opportunity to understand and recognize who you truly are and to fine-tune and design who you truly wish to be. Now, the idea also is that the 11s are parallel lines, and this is also a reflection of the idea of shifting from parallel reality to parallel reality. The idea, as we have explained it a few times already, is that you are already shifting from parallel Earth to parallel Earth billions, literally billions of times per second, so smoothly you don't even know you're doing it. So the idea is that you don't have to learn to shift. The idea is that you simply need to awaken to the vibration that you prefer so that you guide yourself in these shifts that go on automatically within you, from world to world, parallel reality to parallel reality, in such a manner as to allow for a sequence of experiences of different parallel realities that are more in the direction, more in the reflective direction you prefer to experience your world to be. But remember, each and every distinct parallel reality has no change within it. Change, what you call any kind of change itself, is the experience of shifting from one static parallel reality to another, like jumping from one frame of film to another. Each frame has no motion. But the next frame is a little different, and the next a little different, and the next a little different. So that as you move the light of the projector through the frames, or move the frames in front of the projector light, you are thus then, like your consciousness, beaming a sequence of parallel realities into your consciousness, flowing through them or allowing them to flow through you in such a manner as to create the effect and the illusion, the sensation and the experience you call movement and change. But you never actually change any particular reality. You only change yourself. But as you change yourself, you have the experience of transformation, the experience of change going on within your consciousness. So, focusing on the idea of the 11-11-11 vibration as a way of connecting to parallel lines, parallel world, parallel realities, more strongly, more concretely, with that resonant frequency, you can thus use it as a guide, as a wave guide, in a sense, of parallel lines that will vibrate at a certain pitch that will represent the hallway you actually prefer to move down, to move through. And thus then, by instilling and infusing that particular pitch, that particular resonance in that waveguide hallway, in that channel, in that conduit, you can thus then allow yourself to be carried on that wave effortlessly, joyfully down that hallway, down that tube, down that conduit, so that you will not have to expend the idea of pain and strife and struggle, but can experience challenges in an exciting and joyful way. There are any number of ways that this idea of 11-11-11 are being expressed and experienced in the apparent changes now going on, in the shifting that is going on from parallel world to parallel world in your reality experience. There are many different shifts going on, as you know, and one of the strongest ones you are seeing on your planet is the idea of individuals expressing, finally, after many thousands of years, expressing the notion of self-empowerment, of not handing your power and giving your power away, but taking it back, standing tall in a sense, having a voice in a sense, and expressing your truth in a sense about what you believe is important as a representation of the kind of world, the kind of political, the kind of social, the kind of religious, the kind of ideas you wish to experience in your world. And thus then you are seeing on your planet many demonstrations of individuals expressing the idea that it is time to shift the power base from the few to the many, so that you can thus then be self-empowered individuals, and thus by being fully self-empowered individuals work harmoniously together with other self-empowered individuals, because when everyone is truly the fullest individual they can be, that's when you get true unity and harmony on your planet. It is not the idea of becoming homogeneous that creates unity. It is the idea of truly being the unique individual you were created to be. Thus, then, by being that individual fully, you contain the vibratory frequencies, you contain the inspirations, you contain the imaginings necessary to allow you to see how it is that your place fits, that your piece fits automatically with every other piece also being their true selves. Just like all the puzzle pieces in the big picture are made to fit together to make the big picture. If you try to be a shape you're not, you won't fit. But if you are the shape you were created to be, you fit with all the other pieces beautifully and create the big picture that supports all of you. So you create the big picture, and the big picture creates the pieces. They support each other in a synergistic way. And again, this is another symbol and expression of the idea of these parallel lines, because not only do they function this way, they function this way. As above, so below. The idea that we will be expressing in tomorrow night's transmission of the 9 levels of consciousness will explain in great detail the idea of how all these levels, these parallel levels of consciousness that you have created yourself to be, work in conjunction with one another, how they relate to one another, how they exchange energy with one another in such a fashion as to connect you to all that is, while at the same time connecting you to the experience and grounding you to the experience you call physical reality. We will explain very clearly how to use all these levels in parallel in such a manner as to gain great effectiveness with all the other tools we have also shared with you over time. But now the idea right now that is going on your planet is again expressed in many different codes, in many different forms, in many different ways, even unto the idea of certain ancient texts that you have. It is expressed in this way, as a precursor to the vibration that many individuals knew was to come. Even though there have been to some degree misinterpretations of many of your ancient texts, the ideas can be clearly seen for when certain events actually happen in your world. You can see exactly how they correspond, how they line up, how they parallel certain comments, certain sayings, certain paragraphs in some of your ancient texts. Using, just as one example, the idea you call your Bible, even though many people have interpreted many of the things within that particular document in ways that are not necessarily, shall we say, as direct as was the original intention of the delivery, you can still see certain patterns that are reflective of what's going on now on your planet. For if you are willing to take what you would call the 11th book of your Bible, which is the book called Kings, and go to the 11th paragraph and the 11th line, 11, 11, 11, you will find that it is talking specifically about the idea of the transfer of power from kings to the people. For that's what's going on right now on your planet. Kings are falling, the people are rising. Now, this is not in any way, shape, or form meant in a negative fashion. It is not the idea of us versus them. It is the idea of understanding the timing of these things and the idea of the urging in a loving way. The urging in a loving way for those individuals that you have given your power over to, that it is now time for them to give that power back. Not in the sense that they are losing power, but they are actually gaining more power as an individual harmoniously aligned with all the other individuals, who thus then will represent a harmonious whole that will support everyone in totality. Time to give up the idea of lack, the idea of loss, the idea that there is not enough for everyone who is, in that sense, their true selves, their specific vibration, will attract into their lives exactly what they need, and not all of you need the same things. Not all of you will have the same kinds of reflections. But when you are your true selves, all the things that you do attract to yourselves will be exactly what you need and exactly what will fit with everything everyone else needs to attract to themselves as well. And when thus then On our Sunday time, we talk about the idea of the laws of attraction and repulsion. We will go into greater detail about this particular kind of permission slip, this particular kind of tool, and how you can use it very strongly and very effectively to let go of vibrational beliefs that are not yours and to attract those that are. So this 11-11-11 gateway will open you up to many different kinds of ways of looking at things, many different kinds of opportunities for you to utilize, to incorporate, to integrate, to infuse within your consciousness so that you can flow down that waveguide, flow down that channel, flow down that hallway of life in a joyful, creative way where you face any challenges that arise from creativity and from the knowledge that those challenges are simply there to allow you to grow as a spirit, as a soul, as a being in the way that you chose to explore. Your themes of exploration always reveal themselves in the challenges that arise in your life. That's what the challenges are, exposing the themes you chose to explore in this life. By using the idea of the energy of reflection and the 11-11-11 symbology and the vibration that is attendant to it, you will amplify and magnify your ability to deal with these challenges in a very effective and very creative way so that they become something that is an experience of joy, so that you are willing to invite them in, so that you can transform them and amplify and magnify and accelerate your energy and thus match the frequency of the threshold crossing that is represented by your year of 2012. Because remember, that crossing is simply literally the leading edge of your consciousness piling up on itself, catching up to itself, and bursting forth across that threshold to tip the scales so that before that time frame, it is representative of the idea of having slightly more negative energy on your earth in totality. But after that threshold, after that crossing and the tipping of the scales, it is representative of finally having slightly more positive energy on your planet than negative. And that energy can snowball, as you say, and accelerate, and you can build on it. But you must match that frequency. You must catch up to that wave. You must ride that wave across the threshold in order for it to be most efficiently effective for you in your lives. So allow yourselves to let go. Be willing to open up to the idea of reflection as a joyful experience, as a creative challenge, as part of your path rather than an obstacle in it. There is no such thing as an impediment or an obstacle if you don't define it that way. So allow yourself the opportunity to relax, to begin to relax your definitions, to apply new definitions that are more representative of what you prefer your reality experience to be. Because when you do that, you are thus then taking full control of your self-empowerment in the fashion you were created by creation to be, and thus then giving meaning to the things in your life, which is what you were designed to do. For in that sense, without you, life has no meaning. You are designed to give life meaning. That is your gift. And thus then by giving it the meaning that is more in harmony with who it is you prefer to be, you will have the reflections that follow suit. But again, remember, it does not matter that the outside world appears to change. It only matters that you change your relationship to the outside reflection. That is true change. Don't look for the idea of validation in the idea of change by looking in the reflection. Feel the experience of validation within you by simply knowing that no matter what happens and no matter how it looks, it must serve you in a positive way. And when you relate to reality and everything that happens in it, no matter how it looks, from that particular perspective, then you will be truly using the gateway power. You will open up that gateway conduit and ride that wave through that experience, passing that experience through yourself in such a manner as to cause resonant harmonics to build up within your personality structure and reveal to you all the things you need to know to integrate these energies as they come up to your attention.